Hey BookTube, this is Freddie Reads. I'm Jen and I talk about audiobooks, and boy do I have some great audiobooks going this weekend. I'm so excited. First up, I have Like a River Glorious. This is the sequel to Walk on Earth a Stranger by Carson. It is book 2 in the Gold Seer trilogy or series, and it's narrated on audio by Erin Mallon. Well, first of all, Erin Mallon is perfect. She's perfect for the main character in this series. She doesn't distinguish very well between the male characters, so sometimes it's hard to remember who's talking. But the female characters, she's got a lot of diversity going on in terms of her pitch, and also with children. So I'm really, really enjoying that. This book is hitting me in a couple of ways, and the reason is that it's not dystopian, it's not contemporary, it's not post-apocalyptic, it's not sci-fi, and it's not romance. It's none of those things, even though it is YA. It's historical. It's all about the gold rush in the 1800s in California. And the two ways it's really impacting me are highlighting the way that women were so powerless back then. They couldn't own property, they couldn't inherit anything, they were just powerless, especially if they were married and then became widowed. So that contrast right now with Hillary Clinton running for president, and then this whole world where that wasn't just the case, but life was so cheap. And you could stake a gold claim, and a claim jumper can come along with a bigger gun and set fire to all your possessions and kill you and take everything that you had. That was how it was. It was very, very, life was just cheap, you know. So I am loving that. And I got about a third of the way into that, and my good friend Elena got a hold of me from Elena Reads Books, and she and I have been tossing around several books to read as buddy reads. And so it's great because we talk on Voxer, and that's real time. It's like a walkie-talkie. So I love talking with her that way. And so we picked up Wallbanger by Alice Clayton, which is adult romance, and we hated it. I hated it, and I thought, oh man, I hope she doesn't love this, because if she does, I'm going to have to say, you know, I can't do it. The raunch factor in this book is so high, and you know, there's no romance. It's all sex, and I just can't do it. I'm not interested in that. So I DNF'd it. And I told her, I'm not doing well with this. And she told me the same thing. I was so glad. She said, I'm just bored, you know. And I thought, yeah, it is boring when that's all there is to a relationship, is that. So the main character was very focused on that. So we put that aside, and she said, what about Unteachable by Leah Raeder? And I said, yes. I had read this as an ebook about 2 years ago, and I loved it. It was one of my top books of that year. And so it hadn't come out on audio, and now it has, and it's narrated by Grace Grant. Grace Grant does a lot of romance, like new adult romance, and she's not always great for the character, but in this case, she's perfect. And so I've been listening to that. I have to tell you, I walk around with this little repurposed candle jar that I got the wax out of and cleaned. If you want to know how to do that, let me know in the comments, and I'll tell you how I do it. But I walk around with this. It's like an amplifier. It's that life hack like you've seen on Pinterest, and it works. That way I don't have to walk around with my earbuds in. This is the classic trope of the student who falls for the teacher and vice versa. And the thing that makes it rise head and shoulders above all the other new adult books that are written like this is the writing. It's not just the story. The main character is 18. She is in her senior year of high school, and she wants to go away to film school, to college. She has a terrible home life, and she has a class in film studies. Well, she meets this guy at a carnival before school starts, and the first day of school she walks in and realizes he's her teacher. And he realizes the same thing, obviously. But, you know, how are we going to deal with this situation is really what this book explores. But it does it through the filter of this girl and the way she looks at life and, like, imposes her thoughts on film, like how she thinks it would play out in film, how she sees herself from the outside, and how she wonders how other people see her. She's a really strong, kind of gritty girl. She's got a really bad home life. So that being written with the way that Leah Raeder can do it so well is amazing. So I'm finding it hard to put this down and go back to the other one, which I love both of them. So here's the great thing. I have to go to North Carolina into the hurricane on Sunday. I have to drive into that. So hopefully the winds will have died down a little bit. It is kind of the top north edge of where Hurricane Matthew is going to hit. So I'm hoping it's almost done by Sunday night. Hopefully it will be heading out to sea. And, you know, it could be going that direction, going back east into the Atlantic by the time I get down there. So I'm hoping for that. So that should be interesting. But, you know, long drive, 13-hour drive. Hey, that's great listening time. And so those should take me through the weekend. And I'm still working my way through the Delphi effect, which I know I keep talking about in every Friday Reads, but I'm not very far along. I'm that far out of that much. And this, I have realized, is the reason that a lot of people don't read. I can't get time to sit down and read this book and do nothing else except sit and read. I can listen anywhere, anytime, doing anything almost. But to sit down and do nothing but this is maddening because I love this story. This is so interesting, and every time I pick it up, I don't want to put it down. But I'm so frustrated. So here's the thing. My middle daughter, number 3, I'm going to pick her up on Thursday, and we're going to drive from Charlotte, North Carolina, up to where I live in Indiana. Well, actually, we're going to go to Ohio, to where her grandparents live, my mom and dad. And so that's a long trip. That's probably, I don't know, 10 hours, probably 11 by the time we stop and, you know, get gas and eat and all that kind of thing. And this comes out on audio on Tuesday, the 11th. So I've already pre-ordered it on audio, and I think I'm going to see if she wants to listen to that all the way back up. So that'll be, you know, that'll take care of that trip. It's narrated on audio by Kate Rudd. I love Kate Rudd, and I already love the story. So, you know what? My whole trip is taken care of between this and that. So, you know, couldn't ask for a better weekend reading-wise. Just fantastic books. So, I'm so happy. Yeah. Like you couldn't tell. So tell me what you're reading this weekend. Are you as excited about what you're reading as I am? I would love to know that. And I would love to know if I've read anything you're reading, or if you've read any of these, most notably Unteachable by Leah Raeder. So let me know if you have, if you liked it. And yeah, let's talk about all that in comments. And that's it for now for me. I got to go run errands and get ready for this trip. So I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.